She says, it really doesn't matter that they had the bye, but coming this late in the season kind of defeats the purpose.
That's true. We talked about that with her today, and, she said you got no control of it. But she said it did give them some time to get a little rest and do a few, put a new wrinkle in or two, so they're ready to go.
Tigers winning 3 of the last 4 in the series. Amanda Butler 3-2 against the Cavaliers, and Clemson winning the opening tip. Clemson team that comes into the game averaging just over 66 points a game, gives up about 63. Eno Bradford off a big game last Thursday at Miami. And the Cavaliers come away with the ball. Just 8 players, as we noted, dressing for this Virginia team. We'll talk more about that as we continue.
Clemson in their 2-3 zone. Look for them to do some pressing after a made basket, but they're in the 2-3 zone.
One thing the Cavaliers can do is score inside. Long-range jumper will not go for Caden Lawson, their best 3-point shooter. See the Tigers starting 5 and the delivery. Brie Perpignan from downtown, the transfer from Elon, 33%.
Brie's been a real difference maker for this team this year, playing the point guard position. Allowed Eno Bradford to be able to move to the 2-guard spot.
Taylor Valladay gives it a try. She's been really good from the field, 57% over her last 3 games. And she's 29% beyond the arc and then gets the steal. She leads them in that category as well.
She does. She is a great athlete. Was a state champion in Illinois with the 4x200. She can fly.
So she and Camryn Taylor, who we featured in our open, transferred to UVA from Marquette. Each in her 2nd season playing for the Cavaliers. Bradford crossing over. Defended by Alexia Smith. Shot clock at 5 and the inside bucket. Perpignan off to a good start. She and Valladay have done all the scoring on either side.
That was a great cut there, too, by Eno. How about Perpignan?
Elbow jumper. Won't go down. Taylor likes to hit him from that spot. Lone meeting of the season for these teams. Tiger freshman Ruby Whitehorn unable to get the mid-range jumper. Cavaliers, even though they're depleted in numbers, will still try to play at a reasonably quick pace.
Yeah, with Valladay especially loves to push the basketball.
Nearly double dribble, trying to feed Taylor. A little bit wide, and the Cavaliers will give it up. They turned it over just over 16 times a game.
Little bit too much there. Clemson's going to try to deny Camryn Taylor as much as they can, limit her touches.
And she defends Robinson, who gives it away. Hannah Hank out high. Perpignan. Robinson knocked away. Good play defensively by Lawson. Scramble, and away with it comes Mckenna Dale for the Cavaliers. She'll bring it front court. Here comes Virginia. Transition. Alexia Smith, no. Taylor the follow.
Got to keep her off the board. She is physical. She pushed Amari Robinson underneath the basket there.
Tigers back home for the first time since February 9th. Robinson, beautiful feed from Whitehorn.
Nice look. Good job finishing on the backside there by Amari.
Underneath, tried to get it low to Taylor, knocked out of bounds. Cavaliers will keep. Oh, Ruby Whitehorn can score it, but also becoming a distributor.
Great job finding the ball. A little too much help there by Camryn Taylor.
Cavaliers, not a deep bench, but they sub 2 in. And among those on the floor, their lone freshman in their rotation, Yanta Vaughn. That's her with the ball. Vaughn looking low toward London Clarkson instead. Can't get it to go from the outside. Clarkson, though, scrapping. Recycles the possession. Virginia falling to a good Duke team in a close game at home on Sunday. They lost by 4. Knocked away into the front court. Kiki Gaines, step through, gets the roll.
Good job by Kiki. She's a great athlete as well. She can run.
Tigers force 19 turnovers a game. Good sign how they can turn defense into quick offense. Taylor getting the attention of Perpignan.
Trying to get to high-low there.
Valladay. And Gaines the rebound. Gaines, a sophomore out of Columbus, Georgia. Tigers setting it up in the half court. Perpignan, big addition to this team this year. Amanda Butler talking about what she and Daisha Douglas, a junior college transfer, brought. From the outside, no for Bradford. And Valladay comes away with it. Pushing the pace, gets it ahead. Smith couldn't handle it. Corrals, though, and we're tied up at 9.
Great lead pass by Taylor Valladay.
Cavaliers lead the all-time series by 12. On the wing for Perpignan. Off to a good start offensively in the game. Shot clock coming up on 5. Gaines from outside. And the rebound coming down to the Cavaliers. Taylor pulled it in. Valladay scoops it. Someone else needed to touch it before she did.
Yeah.
And we've got a timeout on the court. Each team filling each other out so far. A 9-9 ball game. A couple of ball clubs trying to get late season victories.
South Charlotte Hyundai is big.
First into the Virginia program there. McLean from UConn and Sam Burnell played 3 years at Notre Dame and graduated. So she's a graduate.
And really would have assisted the likes of Valladay defending the ball and Camryn Taylor and others. Kiki Gaines seeing her role increase, but she turns it over. Clemson team that Amanda Butler says she feels like they've got to the point where on any given night, 10 different players could be the leading scorer, or at least be very much a factor to complement someone like Robinson or Whitehorn. Tigers applying full court pressure. They're going to try to wear Virginia down as much as they can because of the Cavaliers' short bench. Stepping through, but that time the travel against Vaughn, and the Cavaliers give it back up.
I'm not sure either of those calls on either end was a travel, but I don't have.
They had the look. They had the look.
I always called them the phantom travel.
Daisha Douglas talked about the big addition she's been, provided some good minutes for this team. Giving it away to Michaela Elmore inside Eno Inyang. From the corner, Whitehorn. That has not been a great area for her. She begins the night just 17% beyond the arc, but she puts the Tigers back up by 3.
As she continues to get better in that phase of the game, she will complete her overall skill set. I'm sorry, Pete. Staying in that 2-3 zone and trying to deny the ball inside.
2 straight travel calls against the Cavaliers. Ruby Whitehorn, they found her in the corner.
Great pass by Eno Inyang. That inside out is the best. That's the best time to launch the 3.
Whitehorn coming in second on the team at just over 10 points a game. Perpignan. Inyang. And off the side of the backboard, pushing front court, Smith. Kicks on the wing from way outside. Won't fall for Lawson. Another rebound for Inyang. Whitehorn, the highly regarded freshman out of Detroit. A little bit wide on the pass. Perpignan couldn't keep it from going out of bounds off the dribble. 4 turnovers for each so far in this opening quarter.
Yep. No doubt about it.
Good job defending the ball by Cady Pauley.
Pauley, the freshman.
And Cavaliers will keep, as Douglas was the last to touch it for Clemson. On from just outside of Washington, D.C. Her head coach, by the way, a D.C. area native. Kind of a homecoming for her to take the Virginia job. She's from Northern Virginia in the Fairfax area. Pauley from outside. Rebound tipped long, and Pauley able to run it down, so the Cavs will reset.
Pauley's from Missouri. I imagine Coach saw her play quite often when she was at Missouri State.
Shot clock under 10. Pull up for Smith. Oh, good scrappy play to keep the possession alive for Clarkson. Pauley forcing the three. Cavaliers just 4 of their first 14. Other end, Douglas. Quick pass. Inyang. Largest lead so far for the Clemson Tigers.
I'll tell you, little Elijah Douglas has done a good job for this team coming in here and running the point. She and Brie Perpignan.
Back to action in a 5-point game. Late stages of the opening quarter. Full court pressure for Clemson. Valade, she can get a little bit out of control at times, and the Tigers will try to exploit that. But the Cavaliers again successfully break the pressure.
Right.
Smith feeds inside. And another travel call, this one on Taylor. So the turnovers continue to pile up. That's 5 in the opening quarter for Virginia.
Anytime you drop, step, and then close, that's moving both feet. So that's a travel. Just good call.
Whitehorn on the drive. Ruby Whitehorn.
That's a pretty outstanding shot right there.
5 points in the opening quarter for the Tigers prize freshman out of Detroit. Out to a 7-point lead. Clemson stays in that zone. Cavaliers as a team began the night just 28% beyond the arc. That could change if Pauley, the freshman, is able to heat up.
And that was deep, too. One in, 4 out. They're going to play. Now we got Horn set here with the 2 high post players.
Tigers playing it down, coming up on 10 to go in the opening quarter. Douglas out high. Defended by Valade. Feeds baseline. Robinson tries to get it underneath the Hank. 0.6 of a second remain. Good ball movement that time.
It was indeed. Good cuts, good hard cuts.
Fifth Clemson turnover.
Yeah, tried to force it in there on that pass. She probably would have been better off kicking out or maybe taking the shot herself.
Trying to snap a long road losing streak in the ACC. We'll talk about that when we come.
BMW, Freightliner, Ford, and many more of the world's
16-game road losing streak in the ACC. And several of those games you see against ranked opponents have come on the road. But she's tried to change the culture. She feels like she was able to achieve that during the summer. She has brought a lot of different ideas to a program that, as we told you, they won a total of 5 games last year. If they get a win tonight, they'll have their 5th ACC win, and they'll get to 16 overall. And once again, from downtown, Cady Pauley. Cavaliers back within 1. Whitehorn underneath for Robinson. So when you've taken over a program that had run into difficulty, as Robinson able to connect from the outside. A lot of work to be done. I know Amanda Butler had to bring a lot of new ideas to Clemson when she took over 5 years ago.
Cady Pauley got a little attention from Whitehorn there. She's not going to catch and shoot.
On the wing, Valade. Dale out front. Pauley from the left wing. Not that time. Battle for the rebound. Whitehorn unable to save it to a teammate.
Always careful about throwing the ball inbounds with your on the opponent's end of the basket there.
Pauley knocking it down. Robinson second on the team at 33%.
Yeah, she's miss inside outside for Clemson. She can step back, knock that 3 down, and score in the paint as well.
Tigers led by as many as 7 points in the opening quarter. And over to the bench, Taylor. You see her favoring, looks like her left eye. Hopefully she's just shaken up.
Got to close out in a hurry on Pauley.
Inside, spin move. And free throws upcoming for London Clarkson. Senior transfer from Florida State, originally from the state of Texas.
68% free throw shooter, Pete.
Clarkson, 5.7 boards a year ago in the game against Clemson. Tigers were victorious in that contest in Charlottesville.
In the first quarter of the 15 shots Virginia took, 9 were from the outside. 9 were from beyond the arc.
0 for 2 that time. Cavs, 71% from the line as a team. And Whitehorn driving on her fellow freshman, Pauley. And she'll pick up the personal. That'll be the first in the quarter against the Cavaliers. Whitehorn, pull up. Robinson had it knocked away. There's Hank. And another foul called against the Cavaliers.
Interesting coaching decisions going on here, Pete. You see Coach Mock coming with Pauley against this 2-3 zone that they've had trouble shooting from three-point range. She comes in and knocks 2 down, but on the other end, she's guarding Ruby Whitehorn. Coach went to Ruby Whitehorn one-on-one situation there against Pauley.
Hannah Hanks, 61% from the line, the senior originally from Australia. 9 points a year ago in the Tigers' win against the Cavs. Makes 1 of 2. Hank getting in the scoring column. The lead grows back out to 5. Clarkson in the front court. Head of steam, Lawson back to Clarkson. Somehow in the corner to Pauley. Can't hit the fadeaway. She's missed her last 2. Perpignan lobs. Robinson. Nice finish by Amari Robinson.
I always love it when those bigs run the floor and get the layup. And I especially love it when a guard will throw it to her.
Pauley again from the corner. And she has cooled off. She came into the game shooting only about 22% from beyond the arc, but she was able to hit a couple and get them right back in it after they fell behind by 7. Strong drive, Perpignan tried to get it to Robinson. Knocked away. Tigers turn it over for a 6th time. Valladay pushing the pace.
That's the quickness of Valladay. That was very quick stepping in the passing lane down here for the steal. And then obviously you see how she pushes it down the floor and draws the foul.
Eno Bradford, the guilty party in the foul. Robinson, she gets a head of steam to the basket. Tough to stop.
Right, she is indeed.
So we'll see Taylor Valladay, second season in the program at UVA, transfer from Marquette, just like Camryn Taylor. 65% from the line. Not a great number when you've got the ball in your hands so much. Been a very efficient player. Had 22 points and 8 rebounds. Season highs both in their big victory against NC State a couple of games ago. Back to a 4-point game.
Well, her explosiveness is her greatest quality. I mean, she is just a tremendous athlete. Look at her on defense.
Oh, and Valladay, another steal in the backcourt. Robinson knocks it out of bounds. It almost hit Valladay as it was dropping. And the Cavaliers will keep after the turnover.
Not only can she run, but she can jump. She jumped higher than Perpignan there and got that steal. Look at that.
Tigers and Cavaliers, 2 of the better on-ball defenders in the conference. Valladay and Eno Bradford won't go down for Taylor. Tough start so far for the top scorer on this Virginia team. Quick move to the bucket. Scoop won't go down for Perpignan. Clarkson getting ahead to Valladay. Vaughn thought about it. Now she'll try it.
Long shots, long rebounds, and Virginia's beating them to the ball. 50-50 balls. They're getting them all.
Cavs have struggled from afar, just 3 of 14, and now, a swing by Clarkson after she and Inyang were scrapping. Jules Gallion, the official there. I've got a feeling they're going to look at the video, and this is not going to turn out well for London Clarkson, the senior post player for Virginia. Fortunately, there wasn't any real contact between either Inyang or Clarkson.
Right.
That got ugly in a hurry.
Pretty good right-hand hook, though, wasn't it?
Wow, you hate to see that.
Yeah. We're going to see what the officials do. I'm sure they're going to look at it and...
Denise Brooks, Jules Gallion, Ashley Gloss, our officials. I don't know if a foul was initially called or if they called a held ball.
I don't think there was anything called. I know Eno was on
There
her
was a
back
whistle at one
good.
point, but I thought it was before we then saw the extracurricular from Inyang and Clarkson.
We have a double foul to begin with on blue 34 and white 21. We're reviewing the after the foul.
So let's see how that plays out. So a first on Inyang, the Tigers post player, and Clarkson picking up her first personal. We'll take a timeout, let them sort it out, let you know what happens when we come back. So you just heard Denise Brooks, the official, give the call. So London Clarkson suspended. And I would think the conference office now will also have a look and will evaluate further.
Right.
And that is obviously very detrimental to the Virginia cause. They're down to 7 players in uniform.
And I guess she has gone to the locker room.
Team fouls in the quarter, 4 on the Cavaliers, 3 on the Tigers. We'll see Amari Robinson with free throws. Robinson best on the Tiger team, 82%.
You know, in non-conference, she was shooting 90 in the 90s, high 90s. But ACC play, she slipped a little. Still a very good free throw shooter, though. We'll take it, won't we, Pete?
And the Tigers will have the inbound at midcourt. Michaela Elmore on the floor.
Coach Butler wisely takes Eno Inyang out of the game as well.
Robinson 8 points to lead all scorers so far. Tigers trying to get back over 500 overall and get a 6th win in the ACC. They could be as high as 10th place when the regular season concludes on Sunday. They know they're playing on Wednesday, the opening day of the ACC tourney next week. Cavaliers go to a zone. Shot clock under 10. Perpignan tried to get it to Robinson. Out of there comes Smith. Steps around Mattiot. And Elmore with the rebound.
Mattiot running the floor, spotting up down in the corner.
Robinson. And the flat-footed rebound that time almost came down like a pop fly to Caden Lawson. Well, Cavaliers still have their key offensive weapons. Clarkson was a big factor for them on the glass and defensively. From the right elbow, won't go for Smith. Virginia as a team hitting below 25%. We're right at 25%, 6 of 24 that time. Ott trying to get back in the flow as Mattiot hadn't scored in the past few ball games.
That's what she does best, though, catch and shoot. Very good three-point range.
Biggest lead for Clemson at 10 points inside. Taylor, her second bucket of the game, came in averaging about 13.
Great pass by Vaughn there as well.
Underneath Robinson.
Great high-low pass there from Michaela Elmore.
14 straight double-figure scoring games for Amari Robinson. She now has a dozen. Vaughn. Yanta Vaughn, just a 28% three-point shooter.
I think that one might have been inside the arc there.
Yeah, just inside, as it turns out. So back to an 8-point deficit for the Cavaliers. So expect to see a lot of zone out of them the rest of the way. Robinson had it knocked away from behind. Good defensive recovery by Lawson. I've got to think, if you've got only 7 players.
Right.
But from a Virginia standpoint, they're facing a Clemson team that's a 30% three-point shooting ball club.
Yeah.
This time the
Great
long
job
two,
right there.
by Vaughn.
Yep. Very good pull-up, shoots a 2. Got to do a better job closing out there. Good block there.
They have had to deal with foul trouble in several of their games, particularly with Taylor. And that's why Coach Mox has added some zone, not necessarily something she prefers. She has Big Ten in her coaching bloodlines. Lawson from the outside, able to get the 3. She's the best for them from beyond the arc at 30%. But defensively, they've had to use zone out of necessity. And now with 1 player down from 8 available, that's what they've looked to rely on. Again from the left side. Looked like the defender, Lawson, might have gotten a hand on it. Cavs a chance to get as close as they've been in a while.
Taylor in particular has fouled out of 6 ACC games.
And battle inside for the rebound. Foul will be called against the Tigers.
Hey, Virginia's doing a good job getting some offensive rebounds.
Mattiot picks up her first. 14 fouls each here in the quarter.
That's the 8th offensive rebound. Now, they've only converted it into 2 second-chance points, but Clemson's got to do a better job blocking out in that 2-3 zone.
Catch and shoot. Not that time for Taylor. Hank on the rebound.
I like to see 2 going up after that ball like that.
Here's Bradford. Rebound. Inyang. Put back by the Tigers sophomore post player out of St. Cloud, Florida. Clemson stays in its zone. From the corner, not that time for Lawson.
There's another offensive rebound. Boy, they go after those loose ball rebounds.
Great scrappy play. Cavaliers with 9 offensive boards of the 17 they pulled down. Valladay spinning. Taylor battling for the rebound.
Valladay was completely out of control there. Just threw it up, but once again, an offensive rebound.
5 team fouls on the Tigers. Hannah Hank picking up the personal. That'll be her first.
Camryn Taylor at the line, shooting 2.
Taylor 74% on the season. Originally from Peoria, Illinois, the home of Bradley University. Began her career at Marquette. Reached 1,000 points in her college days against Notre Dame earlier this season. And is back to a 5-point game.
He's a nice player, no doubt.
Hannah Hank looks things over. Dale, the Brown transfer, defends. Bullet pass underneath. Gaines can't get it to go. Inyang battles for the ball. Gaines leaves it short, gets her own rebound again. From the outside, Douglas.
Douglas was a really good scorer in junior college at Western Nebraska Community College.
Three-pointer puts the Tigers back up by 8 and has been seeking that role, really trying to make sure she has the right role in her first season playing for Clemson. Dale, right place, right time, off the deflection.
Yeah, Inyang's got to pull that one down with 2 hands.
Douglas can play with pace, coming up with 2 minutes to go in the half. Tigers will reset against this zone.
Here's the horn set.
Hank inside Inyang. Couldn't handle it.
That's was at her feet.
Turnovers, something Amanda Butler pointed out, have been Too many for her Clemson team of late on the season, averaging over 17 a game. Pauley gave Virginia a boost in the opening quarter with a couple of threes. Vaughn around a screen from Lawson. Catch and shoot for Dale. And the long rebound. Bradford for the Tigers. Like she lost her footing. And Gaines able to keep that from going out of bounds. Tigers up by 6 without Whitehorn or Robinson out there, and Douglas will head to the free throw line, I do believe, or they simply say it was knocked away. I believe
it was just knocked
out, yeah.
She's a left-hander all the way. If she had used the right hand there, she might have slid that layup in there.
Douglas gets a breather. Robinson back on the floor. Inyang with a strong drive. All-state player from the state of Florida, trying to become more of a factor this season. Sophomore for this Clemson team.
I think she definitely has. I really think she's got a great upside.
Tigers have led by as many as 10. Dale again. Missed from that spot moments ago. That time rattles it home. Mckenna Dale, a 26% long-range shooter. Cavs trying to hang around. If you're just joining us, London Clarkson, one of their post players, ejected. She took a swing at Eno Inyang after a double foul was called earlier in this quarter. Smith, quick move, taken away. Bradford among the ACC leaders in doing just that. Can't score on the other end. Dale lost it. Bradford couldn't save it from going out. Nunu Bradford began the night 61 steals among the top 5 in the conference.
Had one there and then couldn't hang on to it.
Bradford's second season with the team, junior college transfer. Just like Elijah Douglas has given the Tigers a real boost coming from Western Nebraska Junior College. Coming up on 10 to go before the break. Coach Mox of the Cavs telling her team to go in their offensive set. Dale, 1 second. They're not going to get the shot off in time. And that's how we arrive at the half. An eventful opening 20 minutes for the Tigers and Virginia Cavaliers. Clemson takes a 5-point lead into the break. Tigers 11-2 this season when leading at the half. Virginia 3-10 when they trail. We come back to 1. And then last season, a struggle to win just 5 games, but a coaching change, and Amaka Gugwa Hamilton has brought energy to this program. Hannah Hank and the Tigers trying to continue a push upward in the ACC standings.
1-1-3 matchup there. Good high hands by Virginia. I like that. There's the backdoor lob.
Pauley defending as the lob came down to Whitehorn, who travels.
When she caught it, there were 3 Virginia players around her.
Now, I know when I see a 1-3-1 defense, the offensive team's going to try to go to the corners. A 1-1-3, what's the purpose? What are you trying to force there?
Well, it really is, after the ball is passed to the wing, it's a 2-3 zone.
Gotcha.
But basically, any zone, when the ball goes to the corner, it's a 2-3.
Dale off the catch and shoot. Couldn't get it to go. Good job by Hank to pull down the rebound.
You know, it's interesting. Over half of Virginia's shots have been beyond the arc. And I know they want to play quick, but I don't think they want to shoot it that quick. I think they ought to make Clemson play some defense. Cavaliers
defend the 3 as well as anyone in the conference, among the leaders in that regard, and out of bounds it goes. Back over to UVA. They're second in the ACC in 3-point defense. And they've been efficient offensively. They're a decent team in terms of having offensive flow.
Yeah. Well, those 2 injuries really have created Virginia to reinvent themselves.
They want to get that player right there going, although Taylor can't finish. And Hank comes away with it.
That was a good move going to that left hand. I like it.
Taylor limited to 6 points so far. Down low Robinson, and a reach-in foul will be called on Camryn Taylor. And that'll be the first on the senior forward.
Foul trouble has been a problem for Taylor, but that's only her first. Like I said, that's probably only the 10th foul called in this entire game.
And in fact, yes, you're right at that number. 5 on each side, but another quick one against Virginia, this time on Lawson. No, actually, Taylor picks up the quick set.
That was 2 quick ones on Taylor.
Initial call looked like it was going against the junior. Lawson off the inbound, knocked away Valladay, and now Hank with the personal foul. That'll be number 2 on the Tigers senior.
I don't believe I would lob that thing back there anymore on that baseline out of bounds because Valladay is going up after it. Boy, she's a good-looking athlete.
Valladay from Chicago. So many great players have come out of that area. Lawson tries it from out front. Another offensive rebound. Taylor can't get it to go. Scrapping for the basketball. Lawson, now Taylor. Ran into traffic. And the foul against Clemson.
3 quick ones on Taylor within a minute and...
Oh, they called the offensive foul.
Yes, they did.
I was blocked, frankly, and couldn't pick it up on the monitor, and they go, 3 fouls in the span of
a minute and
less than 2 minutes.
Seconds.
That's what she does. She has been prone to foul. She'll go to the bench.
Hannah Hank's very good at taking the charges. She's invaluable at doing this. Biggest play you can make for your basketball team.
As you saw Hank hit the deck. Whitehorn, 5 points in the game for Clemson. That's her with the ball out high.
I like the ball movement there. Good job kicking out.
On the wing, Bradford. Nunu Bradford had not scored until that bucket coming off the big game against Miami when she was 4 of 6 beyond the arc and had 18 last Thursday.
That's all because of good passing, good ball reversal.
Pauley out front. And the rebound by Ruby Whitehorn. Great speed with the basketball. The freshman out of Detroit. She'll try another 3. Made one in the first half. Battles for her own rebound. Bradford from the left side. Robinson fouled. Going after the basketball. Valladay will pick up the personal.
There's a good ball reversal. Whitehorn to Perpignan. There's a high post reversal. That's the best way to do it right there. 4 quick fouls on Virginia. Clemson's going to be in the bonus here on the next foul.
First on Valladay, who goes to the bench. Whitehorn lost the handle, but Hank runs it down. Robinson tried to get it to her teammate. And out of bounds, back over to Virginia. So, neither team has done a great job taking care of the ball. 11, now 12 turnovers for Clemson. 8 so far in the Cavaliers.
Yeah, Amari Robinson got that basketball. The first thing you do is turn and face your basket. And then you take the ball till somebody stops you.
Vaughn granted the timeout as Perpignan and Bradford had her trapped near midcourt. Cavaliers want to talk it over. Tough go of it for them. Be back on the sidelines sooner than later. If you go to LLS.org, there's more on something called the 30-mile challenge. And that's something before the activities really got going tonight. During, I think, the first time out, they actually had Joy on the big video board here in Little John Coliseum telling her story of her current situation and also put up a graphic about the 30-mile challenge. That's LLS.org for more on that. But obviously, everyone pulling for things to get back to normal as soon as possible for Tigers assistant coach Joy Smith. Back to action, Virginia Cavaliers trailed by as many as 10 in the opening half. Shot clock under 10. Dale the pull-up. Offensive rebound. And we'll see free throws upcoming for Alexia Smith. Hannah Hank picking up her 3rd personal, so 2 of the key inside players on either side. Hank for the Tigers, Taylor for the Wahoos, each with 3 personal fouls. Eno Inyang checking back in as Hank will get a breather. Caden Smith, out of the Cleveland area, finished up her high school career at Orange High. 1,000 points, 500 rebounds as a high school player. Can't get the second one to fall. Robinson on the rebound. Lawson hitting 1 out of 2. Whitehorn to Bradford. Soft touch pass inside. Inyang taken away from Robinson.
Well, they do a good job collapsing when you get the collapsing on the ball when they get it down low like that.
Mckenna Dale coming up with a steal. You would suppose Virginia's 3-possession game, but they're only down by 7, probably going to try to take a lot of time on possessions. They don't necessarily like to play at that pace, but just because of their numbers. Pauley shoots with 8 on the shot clock. Another three-pointer goes down for the Milan, Missouri native. And the freshman with 9 of the game. Inyang. And a chance to add 1.
Didn't get there in time to double her that time. She was quick off that high-low pass. She got it and quickly turned and scored. Look at this. As soon as she catches it, straight up, I like it.
6'3", tough to defend inside. Pauley picks up her second personal.
I don't know what
I think there's confusion because the scoreboard above has just now shown a 5th team foul. This would obviously be a lone free throw situation off the make. Tigers 3 team fouls. And still a bit of confusion among our officials. Denise Brooks leads our crew. I think she wanted to make sure that it was a made basket.
Right.
And this would just be a 1 free throw instead of a 2 free throw opportunity since Virginia has the 5 team fouls in the quarter. And Inyang, improving free throw shooter, 74%. Tied for second on the team from the line. She's given the Tigers more good minutes off the bench. She now has 9 in the game. Pauley defended by Robinson. Pauley knocked away. Good job by Douglas. Tigers forcing a 9th Virginia turnover.
That's not Pauley's forte there.
Inyang spinning to the basket, fouled by Lawson.
Pauley is catch and shoot.
First on Lawson, you see trying to get inside to Inyang. Inyang, I would suppose, working in practice every day with Robinson, has been able to improve, learning from the senior about catching it and quickly doing something with it toward the basket.
Yeah, and I think guarding Inyang has helped their defense too. The post Hannah Hank and Amari Robinson and Michaela Elmore.
A lot to build around with this Clemson team, a group of sophomores. Robinson has already said she'll come back and use another year of eligibility.
Right.
You've got the great freshman in Whitehorn. Some good signees coming in, although Amanda Butler said today, I basically asked her, you want to win every game you can, regular season, postseason, but do you maybe use these last couple of weeks as a launching point toward next season or whatever is beyond? Cross-court pass stolen by Robinson. And she flat out said no, just really living in the moment.
Right.
And the Cavaliers at least able to disrupt the Tigers, who will now inbound on the baseline.
They have Elijah Douglas. They lose Brie Perpignan, but they have Elijah Douglas coming back at the point. But they need to sign another point guard to go along with Douglas. And they may have. I'm not sure about the recruiting class early. Signed a couple of 3, I think. And then we have the ever-effective transfer portal.
There is that. Virginia's really used that to bring in some good talent to their program. Tigers, of course, have gotten their share of transfers, with Brie Perpignan an example of that this season coming from Elon. Tigers give it back up. 14 turnovers in the game for Clemson. Vaughn clears midcourt. Taylor back on the floor with the 3 personals. And order is restored. From the wing, Lawson. Elmore pulls it down. Perpignan got off to a good start with 5 quick points. Driving inside, foul. Will go against Lawson on the contact. Take a timeout here in Little John Coliseum. Clemson's lead.
Yeah, the Hanks are oyster farmers, Pete, back in Australia. And they had an older son that played somewhere up east.
Played at UAlbany, D1 school in the America East Conference, I believe, although they may have moved to the Metro Atlantic. And a second free throw will go down for Brie Perpignan, who's close to 75% of the season, makes 1 out of 2. And we understand Mr. and Mrs. Hank will be here through these 2 final regular season games, get to watch their daughter, a senior for this Tiger team in the ACC tournament. So good that they could get to the States. When she was able to go home around the holidays, first time she'd gotten home since she got to Clemson because of all the COVID stuff. Cavaliers trying to keep the possession alive, and Valladay saves them at the end.
It was tough luck on Clemson's part. They did a great job trapping there and had Taylor on her knees. But
Elmore tried to get it to Inyang. Tigers will keep.
It would help if Michaela Elmore looked to see who was down there defending Eno Inyang.
Elmore at 6'3", and a very versatile player. She's basically the emergency point guard if they need her to do that. Gaines, nice catch on the inbound. Nice finish.
Yep. Athlete. She just elevated.
She and Whitehorn may be the 2 best athletes in the team, with Douglas and Bradford not far behind.
Right.
Pauley to Taylor out high. Taylor driving on Inyang and gets it to go. Camryn Taylor is showing you some game. Averages just over 13 a contest. And she's starting to get it going. She has 8 tonight.
Virginia's still in that zone because of the lack of numbers. And
Gaines from the wing. And Elmore can't keep it inbound. Tigers beyond the arc. Now 6 of 14 in the contest. Amari Robinson, another fine season. Again, breaking the pressure as Lawson reached out for a crossing midcourt. Vaughn with Pauley, 2 freshmen who've given this team a lot tonight. 4th 3-pointer to go down for Cady Pauley. And once again, there's Valladay forcing a turnover. Chance for the Cavs to get a little run going. Valladay can't get it to go. Gaines losing her footing, coming down with the rebound, and it'll stay in the Cavaliers' end. Pauley has a new career high in a Cavs uniform. Previous best, 11 against UNC Wilmington. She's got 12 tonight.
Yep, nobody in the same area code there either.
New career high for Pauley, right? She had 11 against Wilmington, 12. Valladay will inbound. There's 3 times tonight Taylor Valladay has forced a turnover in the Tigers' backcourt. Pauley feeling it. Can't get it to go that time. Inyang on the rebound. She almost nonchalantly flicked it up there. There's a steal by Taylor.
Another turnover.
Tigers in the game now with 17. Baseline jumper halfway down for Vaughn. And the over-the-back foul will be called against Amari Robinson. That'll be her 2nd personal. 4 in the quarter on Clemson.
I'll say one thing. This Virginia team is the scrappiest bunch I've seen in Little John all year long.
Well, you see their head coach on the sidelines, bottom of your screen. She was a very good rebounder and scorer in her playing days at Hofstra, but she says she played with a tenacity, and you can tell that that has been communicated to this team in her first season guiding them. Taylor might have forced that jumper. Didn't really square up.
Right.
And the Tigers will get it back. Coach Mock's very successful run in her prior head coaching stop in Missouri State. She was the interim head coach at Michigan State, also was an assistant in addition to Michigan State at Indiana. Here's Bradford from downtown.
Stop the run.
New Bradford now 2 of 4 beyond the arc. All of her scoring has come in this 3rd quarter. 6 points in the game. Valladay, quick first step. Gets it on the wing for Vaughn. And she can't catch rim. Whitehorn. Bradford front court. Here's Perpignan. Battle for the rebound. Inyang deflecting it to her teammate Bradford. Coming up on 1.5 to go in the third quarter. Shot clock coming up on 5. Perpignan, the pull-up.
Nice.
Drew Perpignan having a nice night. Give her 8 in the game. Tigers lead back out to 10. Runner and the one-hander. Nice floater. Up and in for the freshman out of District Heights, Maryland, Yanta Vaughn.
Right up over the top of 6'3" Inyang.
Quick move in the baseline. And the whistle. And a blocking foul called. That'll be number 4 on Camryn Taylor. So the Tigers able to strike. Mid-range jumper.
Very
Perpignan.
nice. Good form.
Yanta Vaughn. Pretty touch. So 59.9 seconds remaining. And the Cavaliers will go ahead and sub out for Taylor, who just picked up her 4th. Among others, they insert. And they don't have many options, just
right.
7 available. Second quarter of this game, if you weren't with us, London Clarkson, a post player for the Virginia team, ejected. She took a swing after a double foul was called with Eno Inyang, and she took a swing at the Tigers post player. Bradford, adding to her point total here in the third quarter, now has 7 in the game. And Bradford again makes it a 10-point lead.
Gives Clemson the opportunity to set up the press.
Tigers matching their biggest advantage of the game. Valladay, quick move. And the rebound comes down to Hank.
She is an athlete.
Bradford on the wing, wide open. Gets her own rebound. And one.
Good job following. You know, you try to get players to follow your own shot, and that's a good example of why right there.
How about the effort? Nunu Bradford, native of Mobile, Alabama, had 9 points in the game a year ago. Now she has 10 tonight, all in the third quarter. She'll try to add on. Tigers from the line this evening, 8 of 11. Now 8 of 12, and fighting for the rebound, Alexia Smith. Out on the wing, not a bad idea, but overshoots the target, Valladay. So the shot clock turned off for the final 28 seconds or so of this third quarter.
Don't go to sleep on Valladay. Clemson can hold for the last shot here if they can get it down the floor without Valladay stealing it.
Valladay, 3 steals in the backcourt in the game, including 1 moments ago. Perpignan. Tigers will play down that clock.
She's sizing her up now. Don't make a mistake.
Perpignan, shot clock, or rather game clock under 10. Smith went for the steal. Ott hit the deck. And Alexia Smith picking up the personal foul. That'll be her first in the game. And a great break for Clemson with 4.6 to go in the quarter. Free throws upcoming.
Ooh, I thought Vaughn had stolen that ball there, and Maddie Ott got it.
Rare occurrence here. Maddie Ott, just 4 free throws this season. And she misses for the first time. She was 4 out of 4, now 4 for 5. And now 5 out of 6 in her sophomore campaign. Tigers added their biggest lead of the night. It grows to 13. Amanda Butler subbing in Malaysia Douglas for defensive purposes. Virginia clears midcourt. 1 to go, and Valladay would have counted had it gone, but that's how our third quarter comes to an end. Tigers build the...
That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
I think probably Coach Marks had her in her eye when she was coaching Missouri State. She's what we call a zone buster. Standing out there flat-footed, just catch and shoot. And you got to cover her now. She spreads the floor, and that opens it up for Taylor inside. Taylor, of course, is in foul trouble, but...
kind of player Virginia needs. 11 attempts in the game, all beyond the arc. She's made 4 of them, has a new career high of 12 points. But stepping out, Caden Lawson. Cavaliers give it up for a 12th time. Virginia, just 7 available players right now, and their best scoring threat has 4 fouls. Knocked away and taken away. That time Lawson gets it back ahead to Dale, and the Brown transfer able to finish. 13-point advantage coming out of the third quarter, the biggest in the game for Clemson.
Clemson's not handling the trap very well.
She was able to get it away to Hank. Daisha Douglas. Robinson. Shot clock coming up on 5. Dump inside. Robinson. She'll go to the line for another.
Very nice pass outside away from the defense by Hannah Hank.
Good high-low that time.
Yep, no doubt. Here we go. Watch her throw it outside away from Dale. And good job with the drop step in the finish.
Virginia playing a lot of zone tonight. Tigers trying to figure out ways to exploit it. Obviously, the zone designed to try to keep Clemson from scoring in the paint. Tigers were +8 close to the basket in the opening half of play. Robinson, good first half scoring, and she rattles home the free throw. Give her 13 in the game. And the lead grows to 14, biggest of the night. Amari Robinson scored just 5 points in Clemson's win in Charlottesville last year. Vaughn on the wing. Strong move inside, and
drew the foul.
Alexia Smith is fouled.
Michaela Elmore with the foul.
First personal on the Tigers sophomore from Fostoria, Ohio. On the inbound, Valladay.
She is quick as a hiccup, Pete.
Active player. Really, Amanda Butler couldn't stop talking about her energy during their shoot-around today. Mid-range jumper just inside the arc. Alexia Smith came in averaging just over 5 a game. And timeout granted to Clemson. Things were getting crazy in the backcourt. Douglas and the Tigers, which is here on Sunday, helping the Tigers' cause. They knock off Wake Forest. That further clears the way for Clemson to finish as high as 10th in the standings when the regular season wraps up this weekend. You saw what happened in the other 2 games. So top of the ACC, Fighting Irish and Notre Dame and Duke Blue Devils, with Virginia Tech and Louisville and Florida State not far behind. North Carolina, Miami. There's Clemson now at number 10. A victory tonight obviously would put them at 6-11. Virginia came into this game with aspirations to move higher, but they find themselves down by 12 with under 8.5 to go as play resumes. Brie Perpignan trying to find Hannah Hank. Hank saves it. Should be a competitive tournament in Greensboro that begins on Wednesday. These 2 teams already know they'll be playing among the 6 teams in action on that opening game. Hank from the outside. Battle for the rebound. Might have gone off the foot of Dale, and it did.
Yes.
And good scrappy play by Eno Bradford.
Virginia's gone back man-to-man, which they would prefer to play.
And right past Smith goes Perpignan.
She just takes what you give her, Pete, and that's doesn't try to force anything. That's a good quality. Back
out to a 14-point advantage. Vaughn cross court. Lawson with the hand of Hank in her face. And Hank gets the rebound. Brie Perpignan, good career at Elon and the Colonial. Ruby Whitehorn, her minutes somewhat limited here in the second half. The freshman gave it away to Bradford. Perpignan drives inside, past couple of defenders. And the rebound coming down to Lawson, who fights in traffic. Long pass ahead, Dale. Too far under? No, able to get it to go.
When the point guard takes the ball to the basket, the two guards got to get back as a defensive safety.
Robinson clearing midcourt. Very efficient player in so many regards.
Right.
She's become a better ball handler. You can tell she's really become a team leader. You know, she's going to be a teacher, or at least in some form of education. And so already showing that kind of leadership as a veteran on this squad. Pull-up jumper, Vaughn. Boy, she's shown a nice touch here in the second half.
That's a good decision, too. Not just a good touch, it's a good decision.
And a 5-second violation. So the Cavaliers look to continue a run. They've shaved 4 points off the deficit.
I believe that's the 19th turnover by Clemson.
Vaughn averaging 8 on the season, 6 points so far in the game.
Yeah, good decision.
And the Tigers' turnover number indeed at 19. They came in averaging just over 17. Keep in mind, Virginia forces about 18. Taylor back in there with 4 fouls. Able to get that one to go. She now has 10. Second player in double figures for the Cavaliers. Virginia showing some full court pressure. Remember, they're not very deep. Tigers lead shrunken from 14 down to 8. Robinson hung up. Inyang. Balladay defends Perpignan, trying to lob down low, and a foul will be called against Virginia. And Mckenna Dale on the hold. Fourth on the Brown transfer, so she joins Camryn Taylor with 4 personal fouls.
Lob pass was the right decision there. You just got to execute a little better. It's not an easy pass to throw.
And taken away. Another nice job by Alexia Smith, coast to coast. It's almost as if others on the court didn't realize what had happened until it was too late to recover. Bradford, suddenly a 6-point game. She stops the bleeding. New Bradford, big second half with 12 points.
Good smart play by her, going right at Smith, who she knew had 4 fouls.
Inside, Taylor, and 1. That's now worked for them. They've twice gone mid-lane to Camryn Taylor, their top scoring threat.
Taylor's minutes have been limited because of her foul trouble there, but when she's in the game, she's pretty efficient.
Amari Robinson picking up her 3rd personal. Now Camryn Taylor, just under 5.5 to go. And a chance to make this a 5-point game after the Tigers led by 13 coming out of the 3rd quarter, and moments ago led by 14. Again, full court pressure. Taylor building a good night. Now with 12 points in the game. Tigers break the press. Douglas, Robinson on the drive. Had to let her go.
The player actually lost her shoe down here, and she went back to get her shoe, and that gave Amari the driving lane.
Robinson now with 15 on the night.
Oh, good job. Finding that driving lane just open like the Red Sea there, Pete.
Told you earlier, 14 consecutive double-figure scoring games for Robinson. Cavs try to force a turnover back. Whitehorn working on Taylor with the 4 fouls. Balladay couldn't find the handle.
Good job of little Daisha Douglas down in there getting after Balladay when she brought the rebound down, not going up to try to rebound with her.
Tell you one thing, both of these teams, give them credit. What scrappy play we have seen this evening.
Without a doubt. I was getting ready to say the same thing. Hats off to both of them.
Douglas open. No look inside. Inyang off the deflection, and she'll go back to the line. Another chance at a three-point play for the Tiger sophomore.
Another great feed by the little point guard, Daisha Douglas, there with that hook pass. And it was a good catch because she was actually fouled, I thought, but she was contested just to catch the pass.
14 points in the game for the St. Cloud, Florida native. And that's in 18 minutes of work. Again, an efficient night for Eno Inyang. Lead back out to 10 after Virginia had gotten within 5. Cavaliers on the verge of falling for a 17th consecutive time on the road in ACC play. Nice feed to Taylor. 15 of the game for Camryn Taylor. Inyang. Tigers 5 seconds to clear. Robinson with Valladay coming to defend. And then knocked away Lawson. Valladay by herself. Little 4-0 run makes it a 6-point game. Perpignan. Once she got past Valladay, she had a path to the bucket, can't finish. Taylor comes away with it. Now Smith in the front court. Cavaliers can get within 4, maybe 3. Valladay out high for Taylor. They're going to reset. You're starting to see fatigue and stress on the faces of the Cavalier players.
Happens often when you play so hard to come back and from a deficit like they have, and they make that run, and sometimes you just don't have enough to finish it. I hope that's the case here today. But
Coach Mox done a nice job getting her team back in this game.
Yes.
3 team fouls apiece in the quarter. Inyang just picked up her second. And that
might have been a walk.
Real help for Virginia. Taylor drives right past Douglas. Comes back out. That was halfway down. Perpignan. Robinson. And Robinson showing her strength.
Yeah.
Chance at a 3-point play. She's closing in on a 20-point night.
Good finish with a little jump hook there, really.
Fourth on Lawson. 3 Cavalier players now with 4 personal fouls. Lawson, Taylor, and Dale.
I'll tell you one thing. This bunch is from Virginia. My hat's off to them because they're not just intense, but they are physical. They are tough. So, and they're fighters. I'm impressed.
Team leader in free throws. Robinson, 2 of 3 from the line tonight. Give her 18 points. Back out to a 9-point lead. Cavaliers have been as close as 5 here in the fourth quarter. Trailed by as many as 14. Vaughn. Valladay on the wing. Bradford defends. Smith wasn't expecting the pass. Gets past Robinson. In the corner, Vaughn. Oh, that was big for the Cavaliers. Back within 6. Coming up on 3 to go in regulation. Bradford. Hank. Break the press and make them pay.
Yeah, but you got to beat the press or they'll keep pressing you all night long. That was a good, unselfish play by Nunu Bradford right there.
8-point advantage. Dale out front. Mckenna Dale. 26% of the season beyond the arc. 2 for 4 tonight. Against pressure Hank. Now a 5-point Tiger lead. Getting ideas of the faith Amanda Butler has in Robinson's ball handling.
Yeah.
As they just clear it just in time. Tigers may try to work a little bit of clock with this 5-point lead. Inyang, strong move. Taylor had to let her go with 4 fouls. Valladay the rebound. Cavs can get as close as they've been in a while. And Valladay will head to the line. At the end of that drive to the bucket, almost a stagger by
Right.
Taylor Valladay. You see exhaustion setting in, but she'll have a couple of free throws upcoming and a chance to get closer with the clock frozen for Virginia.
Clemson's got to know that she's coming out of control, so get in position and get the charge right there. Boy, she has just played her heart out.
Taylor Valladay, one of 2 Marquette transfers.
Let's see if fatigue shows up on this free throw here.
65% from the line this season. Now 2 of 3 tonight. You see the foul trouble. 3 players with 4 apiece for Virginia. It stays a 2-possession game, but a chance to get closer. Vaughn. Battle for the rebound.
Valladay stepped out of bounds, but what
Back
an
over to
effort
Clemson.
that was.
So it remains a 4-point game. 1:59 to go here in our 4th quarter. Robinson getting it in just in time. Perpignan in the front court. She looked uncomfortable with the dribble as she brought it over the midcourt line.
Well, they come up from behind you with that flick away there, so.
Tigers trying to use some clock and then add some points. And offensive foul, the call. Bradford picking up the personal. That's the 5th on the Tigers here in the quarter.
I'm not sure about that.
3rd on Nunu Bradford.
Taylor's been over watching the guy mop the floor. It's for a purpose, too.
Not a free throw situation. Overall, the Cavaliers 4-7 on the road this year, but have not enjoyed victory away from home during ACC play. Long pass into the front court, Dale, now to Valladay. Valladay, a screen from Dale. Looking for Taylor instead. Dale gets it back. Shot clock at 10. On the wing, Smith. Shot clock at 5. Runner leads it short. And off the deflection, Hank coming away with it. Closing in on 1 minute to go in regulation. Perpignan out high, defended by Valladay. Valladay does have fouls to give. Perpignan kicking it over to Hank. Back out high, Perpignan. Inyang with the offensive rebound. That was huge. And now Valladay, the personal. That'll be her 2nd. And it'll mean free throws for Clemson. Another rebound by Eno Inyang. On the night, give her 5, but that was the most important.
It was indeed. And 14 points to go with that 5 rebounds.
And in the first half, as we get ready for Perpignan to go to the line, the big story was Virginia with 11 offensive rebounds. For the game, they now have 16. Tigers with 12 offensive rebounds. That's improved since halftime. And Perpignan will try to make it a full 2-possession game with this next free throw and just over 42 seconds remaining.
They got Pauley in the game, though. You know who's going to get the look if Clemson don't do the job.
Amaka Gugwa Hamilton, the Virginia head coach, calling a timeout, trying to set things up. Have her team hang in this ball game as Amanda Butler and the Tigers trying to win another home game here tonight. Amari Robinson, another fine performance for the senior out of Douglasville, Georgia. 18 points. She has been effective in a lot of ways.
Has indeed. Scored in a lot of ways, running the floor there, doing a good job on the post-up, and doing a good job getting the pass to her.
Flat-footed bucket. Take that any day of the week. That was an and one.
Without a doubt.
And so was that.
Yep.
18 points for Robinson. Last time the Tigers played, she had a dozen against Miami. 16.6 rebound performance 2 games ago against Louisville.
You know, this is Virginia's playing so hard, it's making it so uncomfortable for Clemson that they're turning the ball over far too often. But give credit to Virginia.
Taylor lobbing, taken away, Perpignan. Oh, try to get it ahead. Good job defensively by Vaughn. Tigers will keep.
Perpignan was a little bit undecisive there, whether to pull it out and run the clock and draw the foul, or whether to attack the basket. And I think somebody said go.
Because at that point, you get it ahead for the easy layup. And
right.
That might have just sealed the deal. Even though there's still half a minute to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So now Smith in for defensive purposes as Pauley goes to the bench. And Amanda Butler wants a timeout. Tigers trying to get a 6th ACC win on the year and look to get back over 500. They've been hovering around the 500 mark for past couple of weeks. Looking to get a 15th win.
It's important that they get over 500 in order for any kind of postseason hope.
And Butler saying, even though her team has won just one time in the month of February, you look at their losses, 2 overtime defeats at home against Miami at Wake to start the month, and then a 5-point game last Thursday. Miami could have gone either way, and she's generally happy with how the ball club's playing.
That's what I say. Both these teams, I said in the pregame that both these teams have played some of the top teams in this league close and actually had the lead late in the game and just couldn't finish.
Bradford inbound to Perpignan. Perpignan, one of the better free throw shooters, and Vaughn will foul her. 74% of the season coming in. Just the first on the freshman, Yanta Vaughn.
And I just as soon have a graduate player at that line with the veteran leadership that she gives them as anybody.
Chance to make it a 3-possession game. Perpignan out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Vaughn, who just fouled her, is from District Heights, Maryland, so perhaps even though there's an age difference there, they competed against each other coming up either in high school or AAU. A couple of free throws at just the right time for Perpignan. She now has 14 of the game. And a timeout promptly called by Coach Mox of Virginia. Tigers lead back out to 8.
Perpignan's been a difference maker for this basketball team.
Clemson 26.3 seconds away from sealing the deal here and then getting ready for the final games in regular season play in the ACC. That includes, near the bottom, Florida State, top 25 ball club here in Littlejohn. I know they'd love to see you out here at 2 p.m. Sunday for that contest. Both these teams about to play the Florida schools. Virginia goes down to Coral Gables, takes on Miami. And Clemson will keep an eye on that Boston College Wake Forest game as far as the standings are concerned. And then things began in Greensboro on Wednesday. 3 games. Tigers and the Virginia Cavaliers will be involved in those. Sunday night, of course, they'll release the bracket. ACC Network has you through the first 4 rounds and the championship game on the mothership at a time to be announced. Coming up in a couple of weekends. Amanda Butler and the Clemson Tigers looking to make it 3 straight wins in the series against the Virginia Cavaliers. Amari Robinson has had a hand in those victories.
The key factor in this game is Clemson's got 19 second chance points off 12 offensive rebounds, most coming in the second half.
Cavaliers need to score in a hurry. Another 3-point try. Battle for the offensive rebound. Dale and Inyang, and eventually taken out of there by Bradford. Almost looked like a game of Twister.
Yeah. Bradford picks it up.
That'll do it for Lawson, her 5th. You're keeping score at home. That leaves Virginia with 6 available players. Lawson fouling out. Clarkson ejected back in the second quarter. Eno Bradford will go to the line. Now, they may have changed the foul call. I'm not sure, though. It does show us on our screen that Lawson picked up her 5th. And Bradford adding to a big second half. 13 points all coming after the intermission. Tigers 4 in double figures. Robinson leading the way with 18. Inyang, Perpignan, 14 apiece. And Bradford joins them at 14. So again, balanced scoring for this Tiger ball club. And just like that, the lead extending out to 10. Clemson about to improve. 15 and 14 on the year, 6 and 11 in the ACC. Virginia will fall to 15 and 13 and 4 and 13. Feed inside, Valade knocked away by Bradford. Playing all 40, New Bradford.
Good hustle. You got to sprint below the level of the ball anytime you're pressing.
Presumably a final inbound opportunity for the Cavaliers. 3 substitutions for the Tigers. Hank Robinson and Elmore will come in. And the inbound underneath. Dale battling, knocked away. Time will wind down. The heave by Vaughn won't go, and that'll do it here in Littlejohn Coliseum. 3 straight now in the series for Amanda Butler and the Clemson Tigers. They've now won 4 of the past 5 against Virginia. Tonight, a 79-69 triumph.
Well, once again, I want to give credit to both teams because they played their hearts out. Virginia's not the